Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be doing a storytime video because you guys really love them and I really love doing them. So basically what this storytime is gonna be about is how I lost all my friends junior year and how I became the bitch I am now today. So you guys really wanted this video because like I was feeling messy on Instagram and I was like, let me just pull this and see if anybody wanted to watch a video of me exposing them. So I'm gonna stop talking, but I'm gonna keep talking. But I'm gonna shut up and get right into this video. So freshman year, I wasn't supposed to go to the school I'm going to now. I was actually gonna go to another school that I don't want to say, but it was a performing arts school. If you don't know, I really like to act, like hello, but I really liked what that school had to offer, but also I didn't know anybody that was gonna go to that school, so I ended up going to the school that everyone else was going to. So throughout the years, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I went through a whole bunch of problems with my friends being quote-unquote fake and being just shitty in general. So also I will not be mentioning these people's names because a lot of these people are gonna be like, oh, why did you talk about me in this video, or blah 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 blah. I'm not saying your name, so you don't come after me. I'm keeping your identity confidential. Okay, so I just realized that I was giving away too much, so I'm gonna cut this part out. I was talking about one of my other past friendships, and I don't feel like having a whole bunch of drama. But anyway, so I'm just gonna let you guys hear the rest of this, and yeah, enjoy. After that, I fell into a new group of friends. Well, they weren't really new. I was already friends with them, but after this point of time, after that friendship broke with Mickey Mouse, our friendship really evolved after this episode or event. These group of people were I was really close with them. I shared a lot of personal things with them. They shared a lot of personal things with me. And I'm not going to sit there and lie to you and be like, oh, they're all fake, we had bad times. No, I'm going to be serious and be, how can I say this? It was good. Our friendship was good. We had good times. I mean, definitely had our bad times, but we had our good times. I'm not going to be like, oh, it was all bad. It's like most people like, oh, he's fake, he did this, he did that. No, our friendship at the time was pretty good. But we did have our moments where we combated against each other because, one, we told a lot of our personal business, which is something you do with friends, which is normal. And two, I think we were just, everyone in this group was so opposite that it did not mix. It was like putting Mentos in a soda and expecting it not to explode. So basically, in this group of people, there was this one guy that was really chill, laid back, was just sort of like the mediator. Like, he would be in the middle, like, no problems. He would be the one taking sides. I don't know. Then there was me, which was, I'm not trying to gas myself up here. I was the nice, the dramatic, and also just two other people. There was a group of 5. It was me and 4 other people. And in this group, 2 other people, us 3 just did not mix. We would always butt heads. We would always just argue about the dumbest things. And also, it was just hard for me to, like, we would always argue. But like, something good would happen. And then, like, something, like, a fly would come in a car. And they would blame me. And then it would start an argument. That's just an example. And it was just like, I got to the point where I was like, what am I doing to myself? Like, I would not, like, again, we had our good times, but towards the end, it was just, the good times were occurring less. It was more bad, it was more drama, it was more problems that were so unnecessary, and it was just not a good mixture. So, I was going to do a separate video on this, but I might as well do it in this video because it goes along and I don't want to just keep talking about the same people in the same video and then they think I'm dissing them. This is just what happened to me. So, right around this time was my birthday, and if you watch my ghost story video, you sort of have a little taste of what happened. So my birthday, we were all supposed to go to this certain place, and we my one of the friends, she was gonna drive us. Dang it, I said she. They were gonna drive us over to the place, and we didn't have a car big enough to fit as many people that I wanted. I wanted 7 people to come because it was my birthday, and we were able at the time to take 7 people. So I was like, okay, let's take all of them. And also, I should mention, one of those people in the group decided that they didn't want to go celebrate my birthday with me for whatever reason. I didn't understand. They said that they had to babysit, but then it didn't make sense because he had to babysit a day before or day after my birthday, which was really stupid. But anyway, the day after I celebrated my birthday, I didn't celebrate my birthday on the day. But anyway, so the night before, one of my friends messaged me like, "Oh, are you sure the other 2 are coming? Because these other 2 weren't part of our group." I want to say their name. I don't know if I can, but they weren't a part of our like clique or whatever. So he was like, "Oh, are you sure they're coming?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." And then he texted me back saying that one of the friend that was giving us a ride can't borrow the bigger car to fit all of us, so we're only going to be able to take 5 people. So I'm like stressed at this point. So, and also rewind back to 2 of my friends. One of them said in the beginning that they don't want to go. Another one of my friends was like, "No, I don't want to go because like I don't really mix with the other person. Like I said, us 3 would butt heads constantly." So he didn't want to go because of it would be awkward, but I was like, "Dude, just come with me. It will be fun. It's my birthday. Like, can we just all get along?" And he just refused. But another person, one of the 2 people that were going with us, I'm just gonna say one of their names. Jaylee was gonna come with us, and he asked the other friend if he wanted. Let's call him Moose. He asked Moose if he wanted to go, and he instantly said yes to him. Like, how are you not gonna say yes to the person that's birthday is, and you're closer to? That was just a whole fishy situation. So he ended up wanting to go. And at this point in time, 6 people were gonna go. Yeah, 6 people were gonna go. So in the morning, I get all ready, I'm all dressed, I'm happy, I'm gonna finally celebrate my birthday, I'm turning 17. And I thought everything was gonna go good. So one of my friends, let's call him Cup. Cup ends up calling me saying, so did you ask Moose and let's call Chill, the guy that I said was Chill, if they're going still? And I was like, well, no, because I thought we're having like, no, I didn't ask. And then no. So then I told Moose that if he would like to sit this one out, because 1, you didn't want to go in the first place. 2, I don't know, it's just you didn't want to go in the first place. So I thought, well, let's not invite him, because if there's not enough space in the car, I might as well just let the person that doesn't want to go, that didn't want to go in the first place, not go now. And then he was mad about it, but I was like, you know what, I did not know this, and this was very weird situation, and I do admit that was really shitty of me to do, but what I don't know how to explain it, but it made sense. So that's when Cup ends up calling me and be like, "Hey, did you ask them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I told Moose and Chill." Well, I told Moose that he can't go anymore, and then Cup starts calling me fake and being like a fake friend and being rude. And that really got to me. I'm like, well, what was I supposed to do? He didn't want to go in the first place, so I don't know why you're getting mad at me. At the time, I didn't really see through my mistakes, but so he ends up telling me, well, we don't want to ride with Jaylee and the other friend because we don't know them as much. It'd be better if we go with the original clique. I'm like, well, Chill doesn't want to already go. Moose already uninvited him, so it'll be weird of me being like, hey, I changed my mind. And I don't want to kick out the other 2 people, Jaylee and the other guy, because I'd be really fucked up, because I already told them, I was talking about this already with them, I'm like, we're going to do this. And he was like, no, I don't want them to come. So I ended up having to disinvite both of them, which was uninvite both of them, which was really sucky because one, they really wanted to go, and two, I just really hate canceling stuff. So I was like, you know what? There's not enough space in the car. You can't come. Like, that would suck. So I told them that, and I felt really horrible about it. I still feel bad about it till this day. So then Cup ends up calling me again, like being, oh, did you still ask them? And I was like, ask who? It was like, ask Jaylee and the other guy if they were going. I was like, you just told me to uninvite them. Like, what are you saying? It was like, oh no, I thought you said that Moose and Chill didn't want to go. So I'm like, and I got mad at him. I was like, you just told me to uninvite Jaylee and this other guy, and you're gonna, because the other two wanted to go, but you did not specify that. And he was like, well, you're gonna have to convince Moose and Chill to come with us, or I don't know what we're gonna do, because only 3 of us were gonna go at this point. So I was pissed off at right now, because I just uninvited 2 people that were gonna go and could have gone, and also I had to convince 2 people that don't want to go. So I end up just so frustrated. It was like an hour or so before we were supposed to leave. So I ended up going on Moose and Chill's Snapchat to see where they were, because they weren't picking up my phone calls. So I ended up going to where they are. They were at a park. I'm not going to say which park. But I ended up, like, I walk over there in the cold. It was cold that day. And I'm just, like, shivering. I'm like, I see them, and I just start breaking down, because I was just like, well, this day was great. Everything went wrong. And I just told them everything that happened from my point of view. I explained why I uninvited Moose to the whole event, and he understood, because once I explained it to him, he was like, oh, okay, like, that was understandable. So I just started breaking down at this point. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do. I feel like this whole day is just gone to shit, and I'm sorry to just be asking you guys if you wanted to go, even though you didn't want to go at first. But then one of you wanted to go then, and then now neither one of you want to go. So I ended up convincing them if they wanted to. And one of them, I don't remember if both of them said yes, but I know one of them said yes. And we ended up calling Cup again, and, I don't know what to call her. Oh, well, dang it. We ended up calling both of them, and they start arguing over the phone, like, blah, 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 going back and forth. And honestly, this whole entire event was just a miscommunication, which was, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it was anybody's fault, but it was a miscommunication between everybody. So we all are just, like, tense at this moment, and I was just like, you know what? There's nothing we can do. At this point, it's almost the end of the day, and it's freezing out here. I just want to go home. So I end up walking back home by myself, and I'm trying to hold in all of my tears, because I don't want to be walking home and then cars passing me, I see me cry. So I go home, lock the door, and I just go on my bed and just let out all of my emotions and tears. And it was so sad, because I haven't been that sad in a long time. And I just started just crying. And I heard my phone going off. I didn't even check it, because I was just like, you know what, I don't want to hear it. So after like an hour or so of just like laying being sad, I wake up. I think I fell asleep, but then I woke up. I don't remember. I ended up texting them. I was like, you know what, this was all my fault. I should have planned this a lot better. I'm so sorry. I apologize, even though I wasn't necessarily in the wrong by myself. I still apologized and took all the blame for it. I don't remember what the text messages said, what they said or responded to, because I don't have my old phone and those messages are long gone. So after that, me and Moose broke apart from that whole entire group. We were just like, we're not having it anymore. So we just stayed together. And me and Moose, over that period of time, our friendship started to end very slowly. He would be... He was very tense, and just like anything would just make him just really, really mad at me. And I didn't feel comfortable being around that, because again, with the negative vibes, I was like, why am I friends with someone that's, one, he wasn't, how can I explain this? He was being very unsupportive. Like, I would be like, hey, did you watch my video or something? And he'd be like, no, or something like that. And then I'd be like, oh, I have this idea, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, did you like my post on Instagram? He's like, no, I don't like your stupid posts. You always post all the time. I'm like, I barely even post that much. And then I found out that he unfollowed me on Instagram, and then, like, all this other stuff that was just, like, very shady. Like, little things, like, unfollowing me on Instagram isn't that big of a thing. Big of a deal, but that was a little bit, like, why would you do that? I thought it was, like, so unnecessary. So then, one day, we were talking about Donald Trump. And mind you, he didn't like Donald Trump. So I was just like, oh, I don't even remember what I said. That's how stupid it was. And he would do this constantly throughout the period of after my birthday. He would walk away from me and leave me alone by myself, which was really fucked up, and I hated that. And most of the time I would run to him and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But then at a certain point, I was like, why am I running after you? You're walking away from a stupid something about Donald Trump. Like, what the heck? And that would happen constantly, and then I just stopped going after him, and he noticed that. And then one day, I forget what happened, but it really just was the icing on the cake, and I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I just lost all contact with him. I didn't say anything to him because I knew if I was like, oh, I don't want to be friends with anymore, it would have started a big scene that I did not want to deal with. So I just silently just started hanging out with a new group of people, which I super appreciate them to this day because they're still with me and they have been nothing but good to me. And I ended up, take it back. But I ended up seeing him around school, and it would just really be awkward because I'd see him by himself and I'd feel bad. But then again, I didn't, because it was just, I needed my space from that negative energy, and that was not good for me. So I was like, you know what? You're doing good for yourself. So, couple months after that whole situation, or 2 months, I don't know how long it was, but I ended up getting a text from Cup being like, hey, we're all at the park right now, and we're talking about it, and we're all making up. And I was like, in my head, I was like, Moose did not want to be friends with you. I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say any other stuff because giving it away, and that's a little bit personal, and that's not my business to tell. But pretty much the group was split up and, like, broken apart, and, like, they were all coming back together and being like, oh, we're sorry for the same mistakes we did before, like, so let's just make up and, like, get over it. So they're like, oh, do you want to come over and come over to the park and, like, talk to us because we want to be your friend? And at this point, I had two decisions. I could have gone back with them and been friends with them and gone through the whole cycle of unnecessary drama and problems and still had that good time. And also at this time, I felt so lonely because I lost such a big part of my life. Like, these people were huge parts of my life, and I also lost my other friend in the beginning of the year too. And it was just, I felt alone. Even though I had this new group of friends, I still felt alone because I didn't do the same things I did before. I still don't go out as much as I used to with them. I still don't have, like, them as a friend. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, at that time I felt lonely still. So I ended up walking, and I had the decision to go back with them or to keep doing me and just, like, leaving that whole negative situation behind. So I walked to the park again, and they were all just sitting there and waiting for me, and I ended up telling them I don't want to be friends with you guys anymore because I am so sick of this cycle of drama, unnecessary drama, and it really got to me because I was just not happy. Like, how can I put this? Like, yes, I keep saying this, but yes, we had our good times. Like, we would hang out and it'd be really good times, but then there'd be times more good than the bad. I mean, more bad than the good times. And those times when it was bad, and it just, I couldn't deal with all that. negative. So I was like, you know what, I can't be friends with you guys anymore because it's not healthy for me to keep going in this endless loop of drama with my best friends that I call my family. Is not acceptable. So I ended up telling them that, and they're like, well, we understand, but we really like you to still hang out with us and be our friend. I was like, you know what, we're gonna need our space, but I'm happy to, you know, communicate with you guys after this, but I don't want to have the same relationship as we did before. And I told Moose, I told him all the things that he did wrong. I was like, you know, I really did not appreciate you doing this, and just being not a good friend at the time. And literally, one of the things he told me, which I'll never forget, was I put up a video and I did a post on my whole suicide and all that situation, talking about it. And you know what he told me? You're doing this for attention. You need to get over it. It's in the past. I think that was one of the final straws, because you don't say that to someone that's been through that. You don't. And that really just got to me. Like, that really hurt. Like sticks and stones may break the most, but no, that really got to me, because that is something I really take seriously. And I told him that I really didn't appreciate you saying that kind of stuff, because that's really fucked up. And like, you don't say that to someone. He was like, you know, I did wrong, but I'm like really lonely at school because the other 3 people in the group didn't go to our school anymore. They moved. So it was only us 2, and I left him, which was, maybe I could have handled the situation better, but honestly, that, to me personally, I felt like that was the best situation. That was the best way to handle the situation, just silently, just distancing myself from him. So, and I told him, also I forgot to mention, during lunch, I'd be sitting waiting for him, calling him, being like, hey, where are you at lunch? And I'd be by myself or with another group of people. And he'd be like, oh, I'm going to be in this classroom. I don't want to be at lunch. I'll be over there at lunch. I'm like, what the heck? And sometimes he wouldn't even text me. So I'd be waiting there, waiting, and I would not get a response. And one day after school, I literally waited at school for 30 minutes looking for him. Waited for him for 20 and then looked for him around school for 10. And at the time, he didn't have a phone, but he didn't even, no, I think he could have texted me, but he didn't let me know. So I was worried. I was like, what happened to him? I think he was going through something at the time. So I was like, what happened to him? Because it's not like him to just leave early. So I found out he got a ride. And I was like, you know, why would you do that? Like, you could have told me that you weren't weren't at school, and I was going to have to walk by myself. But I ended up finding another friend to walk with. But that was just really fucked up. And then I told him about that, and he was like, I'm sorry. Like, can we just, be cool? And I told him no. And, funny story, I used to have a little crush, I used to have a crush on one of the guys in there. And I told him, I was like, that was one of the last things I've ever said to him. I was like, you know what, I used to like you, and I walked away. And that was one of the last things I said to that group of people. And it was really relieving. Don't get me wrong, I was sad because I lost that huge part of my life, but it was relieving because I didn't have that much negative energy on me anymore, which is really good. So, and then a couple weeks later, I would say hi to Moose or whatever at school, and I don't know, it was different. And then I ended up reading one of my DMs I got on Instagram, because I have my thing to where you had to request to text, and he sent me this really explicit message, and I really did not appreciate it whatsoever. He called me a narcissist. He called me dramatic. I get it, I can be dramatic, but sometimes I'm just kidding. I get it, I'm dramatic, but the things he said really got to me. And I was like, you know, if he's gonna say this about me, this was 2 weeks before this was 2 weeks before we got cool or whatever, so he was still mad at me. So I read the DM. I'm like, if he's gonna say this about me, why would you want to be friends with what you described me as? Why would you want to be friends with that again? So I just stopped talking to him in general, and I made a post on my my private account about it. Like, how are you, like, it was just so fucked up what he said. And I still haven't talked to him ever since. And I don't know, the beginning of senior year, I was like, you know what, maybe I should start talking to them again. And maybe I should be friends with them and go back into that whole group thing. And Jaylee would tell me, like, yeah, if you should just be friends with them and just forget it. But then I remember, like, I don't want that stress on me anymore. It was just so much, and it was just so much problems, and I did not want to deal with it. So I was like, you know what, I'm doing good, not on my own, with this new group of friends. Jaylee has been amazing. Gabby and Marco, I just did a video with them. They've been amazing. Kiara, she watches my videos. She went above and beyond. She's the one that introduced me to being friends with Gabby and Marco. I was already cool with Gabby, but after that, it was like we got closer. And even the friends I have now, I'm not going to say all their names, which isn't that much. I'm kidding. But it's just, I'm a lot happier, and it's better for me personally. And I don't know, I like being drama-free and whatever. So that's how I lost all my friends junior year. And yeah, a lot of you guys wanted the tea. There you go. A lot of you just wanted to be nosy and thought I was going to mention names. I did not. But if you do know me personally, you probably could, there's a fly, you could probably piece together on who these people are. And don't message these people, and don't think of them differently. If you have a certain perception on them, don't let this video change it. These people were good to me, but it was just, we did not mix together. So don't think different. Don't think they're horrible people, because they were good people. It was just, we did not mix together. So don't go, and I don't want people finding out who they are and then be like, oh my god, you're fake. Just leave them alone, and don't change your perception on them, because I mean, what is telling someone they're fake gonna do to them? Be like, okay, like, I'm not, and then they're gonna start more drama. But that's one of the things I didn't want this video to become. I didn't want it to become a whole fight and drama thing, because it's not supposed to be that. It's just me telling my story. I did not throw any shade or shade on any of these people, so you can't be like, oh my god, he's talking shit. But yeah, so I want this to be a good video. I don't want anybody to come back and start yelling at me, or people yelling at the people in this video. So anyways, if you guys want this was a more serious video. I didn't really expect it to be that much of a serious video, but if you guys did enjoy this kind of video, please make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with the whole across the street that somehow it's for internet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, cool cats.